They made the playoffs.
Yeah, just saying they were actually winning here. So yeah, even more kudos to them. So yeah.
Otherwise, hockey's still going on.
Hockey. We just
the Wild have been playing pretty decent.
Had the NHL trade deadline. We talked a little bit about that last week, I think, or in our State of Minnesota update, where the Minnesota Wild were just gonna stand pat at the trade deadline.
There just wasn't a reason to.
No.
There's too much uncertainty with.
Yeah. James had to go outside because the beer was left out in the cooler there, and he posed back a Mountain Dew.
God!
I saw that as he walked in.
Got his shoes on and everything.
I just couldn't.
What a dumbass.
For everybody who just doesn't know, we were outside, hanging out in the nice weather.
We did like a barbecue before the show, and
we had the beers out in the cooler and stuff like that, and picked up a case of Miller's, brought that over, and James just went outside here.
Wisconsin side is coming out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it's either when I'm bringing a cheap case over, it's either like Miller Coors or
Bud,
like Molson's. Oh, not Bud typically, but James just went outside. That's why you haven't heard from him in about a couple minutes here. And he comes back into the house and goes like, I had to go outside to get a beer, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, do I make a comment? I'm like, and you grabbed a Mountain Dew? And he just looked, he's just going like, God damn it, son of a... that is a proud moment for you. So you had to go back outside in the rain to get the correct stuff.
Yep, and this is the correct stuff right here.
You stupid bastard.
No, so the Minnesota Wild.
Hey, let's give James a round of applause on that one here. So, just way to go, James. Here we are. Oh, brilliant.
No, so the Minnesota Wild this year, at the trade deadline, this is the year you don't make any moves. You got the young talent.
Yep.
You got
the veteran presence.
Well, just you're focusing on your young talent like Kaapo Kakkonen, Kirill Kaprizov, Kevin Fiala, Jordan Greenway, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're Drew Eriksson Ek.
Well, the other thing is
focusing on them. You don't trade away your young players for a rental player for a playoff run that's going to bugger off at the end of the season.
Well, and also you are in the playoffs right now, so that's why you don't trade your veterans either.
12 points up with 12 games left.
Yeah, so
again, you're maybe not going to go all in here to make that Stanley Cup push that teams like Colorado or Tampa and all of them would make.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Colorado in a 7-game series. You're not going to beat Tampa in a 7-game series.
So don't give up any draft picks or young talent in Iowa.
That's what they said every 2004 and 2013
when the Wild didn't win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but they beat the Avalanche. You said that we have no chance against Colorado.
This Colorado team right here is probably the best Colorado Avalanche team that's ever been on the ice, and they
outside of the Stanley Cup team. This is probably one of the more impressive ones.
I don't disagree with that, but Tampa Bay also lost to Columbus in the first round 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and they were
anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Yeah, it's hockey. Yeah, anything happens in the playoffs. But
for your Kings fandom, you should know that the best.
Yeah, when we were the 8th seed.
And then the other one on that here, you were down 3-0 in the first round and came back and won that one, and then went through
against San Jose Sharks.
I think San Jose Sharks. Sharks sound right.
Yep.
So.
It is right because the next year I went to the Wild game.
He has the Kings of California shirt. I think that was the year. Didn't they beat all the California teams?
Yeah, they beat Anaheim in the first round, and then they beat San Jose in the second round. And I went to the Xcel Energy Center when the Minnesota Wild were playing the San Jose Sharks, and I'm wearing my LA Kings sweater, and I'm looking at the Sharks, and I got my hands over my throat doing that whole choke thing because they were up 3-0 on the LA Kings and then lost the next 4 to be eliminated in playoffs. That's when Patrick Marleau came up and put the middle finger behind his back, pressed up against the glass. My dad still got the picture of that.
And guess what? Yeah. That man on Monday will break an NHL record, James.
He'll beat Gordie Howe for the most consecutive games played.
No, just most games played, I think.
No, consecutive.
It's consecutive? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's been about.
We got a Cal Ripken situation.
Yeah,
there, so.
he's
Absolutely
gonna
insane.
be at like 901 games consecutively played between injuries. So yeah,
It was like 840.
Okay, but
something,
he's also. I thought what they were talking about, he was going to break the all-time games played, just all-time,
Well,
yeah.
as in not consecutive, just
Well, the guy's
Been
been
laced up,
the
so.
guy's been in the league forever.
97. I think they were talking about was his debut. So
Yeah, he's been in the league forever.
that's,
Yeah, that's basically what I think of when I think about San Jose.
Is
Him
Patrick?
him and Brent Burns.
Well,
Joe Thornton as
yeah,
well.
Joe
there,
Thornton.
Oh, yeah, Joe.
yeah.
Jumbo Joe.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's been there. I think he's only been there up until
until recently.
yeah,
Pretty
until
rare
recently. So
Well, I
Pretty
mean,
rare.
just look at Mikko Koivu. He
Yeah.
had most of his career
he went to
here.
Columbus for
And then he went to Columbus for
5
2
games.
months and then said, fuck this, I'm out, because he didn't want to deal with John Tortorella as a head coach. I mean, I wouldn't
I could
either.
imagine how a veteran, might not want to deal with that.
Yeah, the
all
guy's,
the time,
the guy's
so.
an ass. One of the best players demanded a trade and then basically stopped playing when he was on the ice to the point where John Tortorella had to bench him. And then he got traded to Winnipeg, and then Mikko Koivu starts playing after his early season injury and says, you know what, fuck this, I retire. Sorry. Like, I regret coming here.
All right. Well, we weren't even close. So James, you were right. It was, or Brian, you said it was.
Just most
Just
games.
total
Yeah,
games.
total games.
Yeah, 1,700.
Yeah, just saying it was in the like seven.
Yeah.
When you're saying 901, I thought okay, maybe that's his
Consecutive,
consecutive.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's his consecutive between injuries.
yeah. But no, I thought it was just
Yep.
all-time games. So
That
not
is a
quite a
lot of
Cal
games.
Ripken situation, but Cal Ripken Jr. like 21,
Yeah, you won't see
2,200. That is the unbreakable record in baseball. So
All right. Speaking of baseball, anything happening in baseball?
we kind of went over is talked about the current Twins, PNC issues.
Well, I heard that as I was going outside
yeah,
to
no,
grab
that
the
was-
wrong
No,
beverage.
yeah, and we were just talking about like how the Marlins had to deal with this last year. Cardinals had to deal with it, and they came out just fine. And
Yeah.
that was a 60-game season. So
How about the Dodgers though? They're on pace to winning 140 games this year. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
I know.
go.
14 games into the
Well,
season.
I kind of laughed. Like Cody Bellinger got injured here. I think he has a hairline fracture of a tibia or something.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
but let's face it, that team
But it
could
really doesn't
that team
matter.
could throw in.
You slide him into the next slot.
Oh yeah, what all-star now are we going to
Yeah.
bring in here? So
Gavin Lux.
They have AJ Pollock on the bench for fuck's sake. So that dude was a perennial all-star in Arizona.
You still got your prospect, or not really prospect anymore because he's up with you, Gavin Lux.
Well, he's
It's
he's
still a
he's
prospect
yeah,
until
well,
it pans out.
Well,
again,
he's
he's just-
panning out pretty
yeah.
well right now.
Oh, he's just not. He just hasn't really been able to find a place to stick around because, well,
How's his
where,
stats
where,
this year?
where the hell is he gonna? Oh, I mean, I don't look at stats until.
Well, I mean, James
Yeah.
sitting there saying he's
Oh,
panning
he's-
out well, so
yeah.
I want to hear.
Now I gotta fucking look it up because Eric's all like.
Oh,
Damn straight, I am.
shut up, James.
All I know is he's on my fantasy team and it's fucking working out. Alright, baseball reference. Apparently Google can't just tell me. He's batting 244, 317, 562. OPS plus is 55.
That's
14 games in.
That's not great into 14 games, but
He's only have 41
Yeah.
at bats.
so maybe everybody just take a beat here and wait until
Yeah,
like
can we-
Memorial Day on stats.
Yeah.
Frankly,
Yo.
Yep.
But no, yeah, Dodgers look real solid.
Oh yeah.
They're pretty
They're-
confident being the favorites anyways. So.
Yeah. Well, if I was in San Diego, I'd be shitting bricks.
yeah. Well, first series of the year between these two teams lived up to the hype somewhat. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, the 12th inning of the first game made it look not like an entertaining game, but that game was back and forth up until that point.
And then that whole Clayton Kershaw.
Well, there was, I think, in the first.
Profar
I think
thing.
even in the first game there was a little bit of a bench clear. So
Yeah. Well, the Clayton Kershaw and the Profar thing wasn't a bench clearing thing.
It was just,
it was
yeah.
Kershaw basically saying you can't call a catcher's interference when the ball is in the catcher's glove after he catches my pitch,
Right.
and then the guy hits the catcher's mitt. And
Well,
then
that's accurate.
yeah,
And
no,
then
yeah, that's-
Profar was
if the
like,
pitch is
"Oh,
over,
I I hit the mitt, so I need first base. And in typical
Well,
Well,
MLB,
of course you're gonna
Well,
fucking
that's,
argue for that.
that's just gamesmanship, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
in
you-
typical,
you're selling.
Yeah.
typical MLB, they gave it to the
I'll tell you,
batter.
I've had a lot of, like, when I was just catching even in high school, I'd have a lot of guys, like, hit the my glove or something
Yep.
where that happened, and they're going, like, I hit the glove when it was catcher's interference, and then the ump goes, like, well, did he hit your glove? To
And-
me, he's asking me this. I'm like,
Yeah, you
what
say,
the
"Fuck
hell am
no,
I
I didn't."
supposed to say?
Yeah, no, you stand up for.
Oh yeah, no, I totally
Whatever
get it
benefits
here
you.
or something. And like even the coaches are going like, "What's he?" And like I think their opposing coaches kind of looked at me, and I just nodded my head. He's just going like, "That's fine." What like, and he's kind of like looking at the up. Like, why would you ask him that? What's he gonna say? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. But it doesn't matter. Dodgers won anyways. There we go.
back to hockey real quick.
Yeah.
Ew.
That play, that one timer by Kaprizov that
Yeah,
went through
Kaprizov, right?
Very
Right.
Fiala's.
silky. Yep. Very
Um,
silky.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Do you guys think that was a planned play where he faked out the goalie, Fiala?
Fiala, I don't think so because he's a shoot first type of guy.
I don't know. It went through his skates though. Usually they're in better positions to.
But I feel like after watching that one timer and how perfectly set up Kaprizov was, I say yes. But knowing Fiala is a shooter
Yeah.
first, past second type of
Yeah,
guy,
he's looking to get a shot.
then
off,
I'm
so.
saying no. So I'm kind of 50-50.
I just didn't know how deep.
It's kind
plays
of
go
it's
in
kind of like
hockey.
in
Oh,
basketball
it's-
where you
it's
shoot,
deep.
you have like the 3-pointer
It's
shot.
deep.
Yeah, when you have
They
like
have
the
the sets
yeah.
and okay.
we have the 3-pointer shot and it's an air ball, but then the guy comes up alley oops it. That's an assist, right?
No, hockey, Eric, to answer your question, they actually do drop plays. They have things
Yeah.
like typical rushes, like if you have this many people coming out of the zone on a rush,
Yeah.
this is what we're going to do. And
I
they
figured that, but
and they all know, just like batters have a scouting report on the pitcher, like saying this is how his fastball looks, this is how his slider looks, all
It
this
all
stuff.
Arm
it always
angle.
changes. Yeah.
But with goaltenders, all the forwards and defensemen, anybody shooting the puck knows this is where this guy struggles the most saving the puck. This is the we want to do a one-timer glove side against the grain because he's better or he's worse at blocking that than he is something blocker side like Dubnyk. He was always blocker side, always
Blocker
raising
side, yep.
his arm up against his head.
it would drop his
Right.
shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
create that
and it would
space.
go right in, and it was always a snapshot or something like that, just real quick wrister. Everybody started doing that because Dubnyk was becoming famous of not being able to get
Yeah.
that high blocker side shot.
right.
The only way
So-
the Wild actually have a chance against the Avalanche is goalie
Is
efficiency.
Dubnyk in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need Dubnyk to play more and Grubauer to kind of come back to reality.
Although
'Cause-
you do wonder if Colorado is just running Grubauer dry.
Well, that's
So,
why they
yeah.
went to go get Dubnyk
Yeah.
because Dubnyk is a true number 2 starter.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he's better than a backup, but he's
Right.
not good enough to be a number 1 starter.
Or just what he
At
was
least-
for us when he first
Unless
came
he's
in.
streaky,
So,
but
Well, the new NHL right now is you have 2
solid
goalies
goalies.
that you run a tandem with.
Yep.
Because you don't want to run out. You don't want to have a true number 1 and then a backup because you're using that number 1 goalie too many times.
It is. It's kind of like the
And-
logic of like having like multiple like ninth inning guys in
Yeah.
baseball,
So-
like closer types.
So you want a Aroldis Chapman and a Mariano Rivera. That's what you want.
that way, in case you have to use one earlier, you still have another who's
Yeah.
used to that situation.
That's
So,
what
or-
you want.
And
It's
then I know
like-
goalies, it's a little different,
Yeah.
but yeah, but like it's kind of like you don't have to run like Grubauer dry essentially.
No, 100%.
and
yeah.
your true backup goalie is your AHL starter or your healthy
Yeah.
scratch.
But that's kind of more the logic. Just get as many like talented guys, so you're not just one and then a lackey. You have like one and a capable,
yeah, you have a 1, and then you have a 1B.
like a one, yeah, like a 1B. So.
Yeah, you have a MLB starter and then a quadruple A'er. You got
Yeah.
a Byron Buxton and then a Jake Cave. Like that's what you got.
Well, I think
So-
I'd rather have the Dodgers mentality of I've got 2 former MVPs and then an all-star on the bench.
Well, and then
Yeah.
just look at their bullpen. I mean, you've got the whole rotation, and then you're pulling out a Cy Young Award winner and David Price out of the bullpen, and then Kenley Jensen out of the bullpen as your true, like, proven closer, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's like Tucker smash one. He's been killing it.
The closer role is
Yeah.
going away, but it should go away. You don't need a closer.